Hello, hi,
Hi,
hi. This is I'm Robin, and this is
Mattias.
and we play Harry Potter amongst others, and
Carl.
amongst others on this channel, TheMischiefManagers. It's been a while since we filmed the video.
Yeah.
I think almost 2 years, I believe.
I think like 1 year.
Yeah, it's been over a year since we recorded something for this channel, so if we're a little rusty, I hope you can excuse us. Or at least I haven't been in front of a camera for a long time. But we wanted to take some time to address the very quiet elephant in this room, which is that we haven't filmed anything for a while, and why that is.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's going on a little bit, and what's gonna be going on, or not go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eloquently put.
I'm so eloquent.
Yes.
So, why hasn't there been any new videos for the past year or so? Well, there are several different reasons. As you notice, one thing that's to begin with is that we're missing two of our core people here. Christoffer and Sara aren't in the room with us, and one of the reasons why it has been difficult to record videos is because it's been hard to schedule time where all four of us have been able to meet to record videos for several different reasons. There are a lot of things going on in everybody's lives.
Yes.
There's one big thing going on in everyone's life. Yeah.
Like the catalyst of it all was probably the pandemic.
Yeah, the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
We continued recording for quite a while after the pandemic hit, and we recorded the Phoenix music video, the CMV, with a lot of friends, which we were able to do with several precautions, following all of the recommendations in Sweden. But it still took some time extra. We were supposed to record that in February, and we finished in May, I believe, of 2020.
Like
and then we continued making some videos for a while longer. I think throughout the entire year of 2020, we continued making videos that were posted. Matty baked a lot.
Yeah, baked a lot. We started the Sims series as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, and we did a lot of
Professor Potter.
Yeah, like Harry and Draco stuff.
Yeah, because the two of us lived together, so we were able to do some videos that we could meet up for, and just the two of us.
And then hand off everything to Chris to...
Yeah, he's the editor, so he's the mastermind between anything that looks actually good. It's not, we're just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and do some stuff, and then he makes it look like we had a thought behind it all. Yeah,
he works blind. We just give him whatever we did.
No, but we wanted to talk about that as well, like what has been the thoughts behind some of the things that we've been recording, because we will not continue recording any of our stories, actually. Because it has been very hard to meet up, and as we haven't been able to do that, we've also found that when we are able to schedule hanging out together, the four of us or three of us, or with other people as well that we're friends with, some of which you've seen on this channel before, we want to hang out just as friends. Just
hang and chill and eat good food and
watch movies,
have fun, and having that kind of looming over you that you should be recording now that we're all together. It kind of made it a little bit less fun to hang out.
Or trying to force the schedules to line up and then having to prioritize sitting down to record something for hours, because it takes a long time to record a video. When you have to do retakes, and you have to put on makeup, and you have to make sure that everybody are in the right spirit and mood to record that kind of thing right then. Now we just we don't have to think about that. We can just hang out and have fun and play games or whatever it is that we feel like, and it's not in cosplay. It's not for the channel. It's just for us. And we've found that that's how we want to prioritize our time together.
Now that we have so much other stuff going on with work and studies and everything.
And moving.
And moving.
But we're gonna actually we're going to be recording a video together, all four of us, to talk a little bit about what we're doing now and what our plans are going forward. So that is something that's gonna come up within, I don't know exactly when. It's not gonna be in the next week or so. It's going to be whenever we feel like we want to sit down with that when we meet up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But essentially, pandemic, life in general, different priorities have led to us not feeling like this is what we want to do with our time anymore.
Yeah.
And I know that that's going to be very sad to a lot of you. And we have been keeping this channel alive for about 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is a long time. There have been people coming up to us and telling us that actually I've grown up with you. Like I found this channel when I was 11, and then when we talked to them they were 18. So essentially like this was part of their childhood, or like a young adulthood essentially. And that's been incredible. It's been insane, honestly, to be able to meet people through this channel and having made an impact on your life. And that is what essentially I want to do with my life. So one of the reasons why I found this really, rewarding and really fun is to be able to meet everyone and hear your thoughts on what we're doing and the questions that we bring up. And the pandemic also put a stop to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been able to go to conventions. We haven't been able to have any meetups or travel. We were supposed to, remember that we were supposed to go to the United States.
Yeah.
In 2020.
Yeah, to Harry Potter World and stuff like that, to make some videos and stuff.
Yeah, and that was also a bit draining, or very draining, when we had to rebook everything, and like Christoffer had to fight to get our money back, so maybe we could do it in the future. But now we also, put that on hold. If we ever go to the United States, to Harry Potter World or wherever, it's going to be on our own time and not for the channel.
Yeah.
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 And there's another elephant in this room.
What?
She who must not be named.
Yeah.
Yes. This is not the case for all of us. Not everybody in the group finds this as draining as I, for example, do. The fact that the author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, has, during the pandemic and also way before, been, stepping up her transphobic views in public.
Yeah, it kind of put a dampen on things
yeah.
a little bit. It kind of put on us on an edge of just like, should we be doing this, or like should we be promoting her work or not? And it is kind of like, we still don't really know where we stand on this. Like, at least I don't really know where I stand on this. I stand on it because it is a part of our childhood. We want people to enjoy it in a critical way, of course, and putting queer thoughts and more representation into the work as fans. That is also a good thing to do.
Yeah, I've been writing about this on my Instagram for the longest time, because I believe that if everybody who loves Harry Potter and uses it as a medium to explore their own queer identities or the queer identities of the characters, if all of us take a step back and we leave the fandom, then new fans are not going to be able to get access to those thoughts, and maybe they will only meet people who are shitty, who are transphobic and homophobic, and I don't want Harry Potter to turn into that, because that's not what it has been. But the fact of the matter is, the more we, this is what I feel. Not everybody in the group agrees with this, but what I feel is that the more that I interact with this work of fiction and promote it, because that's what we do when we keep the ideas and thoughts and love for it alive, the more money she makes from us. And I don't want her to make money based on what I do, because that goes towards lobbying against trans people's rights. And as a trans person myself, and the trans person with privilege though, because I pass as the gender that I identify with. But young trans people especially are the target of her views, and I don't want to contribute to her getting more revenue and more cultural power than she already has.
Yeah.
So it's been a struggle actually to think about. A lot of other people who have been YouTubers in the Harry Potter fandom or writing for the Harry Potter fandom have already left and taken like a step back from it, even removed some of their videos because they don't want to be associated with this work of fiction because of the author.
Yeah, I mean, the whole of the the actual sport of Quidditch is taking a step back and renaming it.
Quad ball.
Yeah, quad ball instead.
Follow quad ball.
So it's like a large portion of the fandom is taking a step back and just like creating their own thing instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of the things that I'm doing with the Harry Potter role-playing game that I wrote as well. I'm rewriting it into a unique game instead.
Yeah, where you can recognize some of the things because the rules are like started out based on Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But it's turning into something.
Like some things are going to change, but you can see the resemblance, but not a copy of it. So yeah.
Yeah, and there are other magical stories out there that people want to tell and that are excellent examples of, you know, worlds where you can engage with similar ideas and adventures as in Harry Potter that don't also contribute to J.K. Rowling's wealth and worldviews and influence. Of course, if you are one of the people who want to continue engaging with Harry Potter fandom or even canon, that's okay. Like, we're not judging anybody for wanting to stay within this work of fiction and this world. If it's been a comfort zone to you, either because of what we do or just because it has been on its own, that's of course fine. Your individual choices are your own. But I would encourage people not to buy new stuff from her. If you want to buy Harry Potter things, buy them secondhand. You know, there are ways to go around enjoying this without, you know, giving the author more money and power.
Or maybe like supporting like artists online, like on Etsy or something like that.
Yeah, it is damaging to have somebody with such cultural impact as J.K. Rowling coming out openly against human rights, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, if you are somebody who believes in the core values that I took away from the story anyway, which is stand up for the people without power, stand up against oppression, be critical against the established thoughts of, you know, the government or whichever people who work against human rights. Be critical towards that. Then I don't understand, like, how can you read these stories and not get that message?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm living with the messages that I took from Harry Potter now and taking a step back from it for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That said.
After that rant.
Yeah, sorry. That said, not all of us thinks that, and we have had fun with this regardless.
Yeah.
We've tried to really build on the things that we've taken from Harry Potter and, you know, the messages that we believe are in the story and turn them towards queer representation.
And we've focused a lot of our stories around that representation and trying to like educate in a lot of ways, especially with Sirius like Squad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the others as well. We started out with the Mischief Managers. I was going
the
to
Marauders.
Say, the Marauders.
Yes. We started out with the Marauders.
And then kind of explored that that era of not only wizard life, but the era of like Muggle life as well, like the politics of it all and where it stood on like queer rights and stuff.
I don't know if people who are a little younger, thank you, are aware of this, but a lot of things have happened within politics and human rights, specifically for queer people, since the 70s, which is when the Marauders are young and in school.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between how we portrayed the love between, for example, Sirius Black and Remus Lupin compared to Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy, and then later on compared to Teddy Lupin and Vicky Weasley, because they live with different eras of representation and politics and rights. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if we are going to talk about like where did we want to, like what point did we want to get to with the different series, because we had a few
several different
storylines. I mean, we did have the Marauders. We didn't really have like an end goal with the relationships and stuff like that. It was pretty clear in like the subtext. We did base it off of a fan fiction that we really liked, all four of us.
Yeah, Casting Moon Shadows, unless if people had missed out on it, read Casting Moon Shadows.
We had a lot of references to the events in that fan fiction, and we actually like did script and film some of the scenes from that.
Yeah, with the author's permission, of course.
Yes.
We're still in contact with the author of Casting Moon Shadows.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's really cool. And it's not been abandoned, even though, like with us, it's been a long time since it was updated. It's the same thing with Harry Potter and the Marauders of the Mind. Another wonderful fan fiction by this author, Moonsign.
Yes, it's my favorite.
Yeah, it's really good. It's drama focused, if people like that.
Yes.
I don't know if you do. I don't know if you're into Harry Potter
it's
and
a kind of niche.
It's like a very specific pairing that you might not have heard of.
Yeah. But yeah, so we didn't really like have an end goal in what kind of story did we want to tell. It was kind of just like mimicking the fan fiction in a way,
or just having fun with the Marauders and keeping the dynamics that we believe to have been there. Both in the fan fiction and
and the focus was mainly just trying to see like where did Peter Pettigrew fit into the group when he's not just a caricature of a weak evil guy, like a literal rat.
Like what else, like because we love this, I think people know already from having, hopefully you do know that from having watched what we do, we love angst, which is heavy themes where people feel bad. And it's way worse to have been betrayed by somebody who you really loved and trusted rather than somebody who you just kind of like put up with.
And then we also focused a little bit about like we focused a lot of our energy into James as well, because we don't really get much of James. We get the perception of James from different perspectives in the story. Either he was the bully or he was the hero. And it's kind of like where does James actually fit in? Like
who's the person?
Who's the person who fits both of these? And it's kind of like it's a privileged rich boy.
And I thought it was very important to show that he didn't start out as somebody who understood how to be a good person all the time.
We kind of modeled him after a himbo.
We did? I'm not sure if that's true.
I mean, kinda.
I mean, he's a we imagine him as being a well-meaning person, but also a young boy to begin with, who hasn't really put a lot of thoughts into, what privileges he has, or how the world can be perceived differently depending on what you've grown up with. But he, we imagine that he learns. We wanted to show that.
We wanted to show that, and then of course the relationship of Remus and Sirius. Because it's tragic and it's lovely, and we wanted it to be kind of healthy, but then not, and it was fun to play with. Kind of, and we got a lot of help from the fan fiction as well.
It's a very good fan fiction. Read Casting Moon Shadows.
So if you want to know what would have happened or whatever in that storyline, just read the fan fiction, basically.
I guess, Well, we didn't really have an end goal with that.
And we know what happens to them.
We do.
That's this thing with the Marauders. We know exactly what happens to them.
But we don't know what happened before. So we
and meanwhile, basically.
Precisely. But we do have other stories where we knew what happened during their time at Hogwarts, but not what happened after.
Yes.
And so we wrapped up one of the stories that we had. 2 of them we wrapped up more or less. We did the detentions with Dumbledore.
Yes.
Which was also interesting because all of the characters in that storyline know that they are being filmed. Same thing with the Marauders. They are aware that there's a camera in front of them. It's not a skit, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's well, they are aware that they are talking to an audience, which means that some things that they don't want the audience to maybe know about them, they will keep quiet about, but there's still stuff going on in the background that we can bring as a discussion that we can hint towards.
Yes.
So there are a lot of themes in those videos that don't really they don't really get space in the videos, but there's subtext there.
Yeah. It's extremely fun to compare the two because one of them is played upon them actually filming themselves and doing whatever the fuck they want.
Not cursing in the...
no. And the other is kind of forced into the position of being filmed while doing tasks.
Yeah.
Because of detention.
Yeah. So
they don't really want to be there, but they have to, while the other group want to be there because they chose to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different energies going into it. So
yeah, but I think that like having seen Detentions with Dumbledore, you've probably gotten most of the things that we wanted to, like the messages that we wanted to put forward. With Squad, we finished the main storyline, which ended when Teddy Lupin graduated and moved on from there. But we did have some ideas, and I wanted to bring up Squad and Detentions with... not Detentions, Professor Potter.
Yes.
At the same time here, because those 2 stories, after Teddy has graduated, the story of Professor Potter meeting Professor Malfoy and the Squad group maybe continuing without Teddy Lupin, those are actually simultaneous stories.
Yes.
They happen at the same time. I think it's during 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one... Yeah, Sword happens during 2015.
Yes.
So during 2016, we have Professor Harry Potter, Professor Malfoy, and Squad happening at the same time.
Yes, we started merging them together.
Yes, and we had
in
several
a seamless way.
Yeah. And because we are not going to continue telling those stories here on the channel, we wanted to talk about what we had planned, what revelations we planned to give you about the characters, how we planned on making them meet each other.